So, good morning. I am John of Red Hoodie Games, and today we are going to do a little walkthrough kind of tutorial of what PyxelEdit is, looks like, how to use it. And as part of that, I'm going to be starting on the town map for the town of Two Posts, which I can get for you in the background here. I've got a lovely little description for the town, so I'll find that after this. But Two Posts is located up here. There's not a lot of room. Let me move PyxelEdit for now. So, recalling from last time a brief bit of the geography of the continent of Tomarev here, the kingdom of Northtide being in the northwest, Piedmont, the pass town, the the first place, the first location in the world that I had figured out. The kingdom that they had warred with, the human civil war, East Castle down to the southeast, and Two Posts is right up here, sort of central west, certainly not west coast, but west central, and very, very well traveled. Let me grab my description here. Alright. Two Posts is an historic trading post and crossroads town. It isn't the oldest settlement, but it is one of the oldest landmarks in Western and human history. Marked by the literal two hitching posts that travelers of old had once installed, that is how the town gets its name. They were caravaneers and merchants. Before more of the land was settled, they installed the posts as a method of both hitching and marking a location for their travels. Before the caravan would set off again, due to the popularity of the route, another group would often come by, request to make use of the posts, and on it went until eventually Two Posts ended up as a location on maps, as a place to rest and trade between the capital, it'd be Northtide, and the Twin Lakes region, which is around Piedmont, effectively. It was finally settled into a town rich in culture and goods for sale and trade. So Piedmont, not Piedmont, Two Posts is that. It is a small established town in the crossroads of a large X-shaped junction between major trade and travel routes throughout the lands, and around the town proper are wagon wheels, tents, entire tent encampments, sometimes temporarily set up shanty towns that might be there for 2 weeks while different races or cultures are visiting. They might have southern elves come up and just come right on through, trade some things, be on their way. There are barbarian tribes to the north that come down to Two Posts to sell furs, and this is where they go to collect information on the other goings-on of the world outside of their own tribes and regions. So there is a small established area, but outside of that is caravans and transitory folks. So this is PyxelEdit. This is what we introduced last time, showing you the map of Goblin Mountain. Today it is going to be, I'll do a little walkthrough here right at the beginning, and then I'll work proper on Two Posts. So we're gonna start off with a new. I like to do 70 tiles wide by 70 tiles high, because on Roll20 that is the default square size for the map, and so I don't have to change anything. And I don't believe, I looked at this last time, you can't change the tile width and height of the core grid on roll20. So I leave those set, and then the number of tiles wide and high that you want is however wide or small you want the map the map to be. So we can start off with just a 50-50 here. And we'll just make something light and easy. Your tiles are on this side. You can click the little plus to add more tiles. Scroll wheel gets you zoomed in and out. And I like to view tile indices. It does make the appearance of this a bit busy. The benefit to that, of course, is that you can see which tile you have where. So tiles 1, 2, and 3. That the click and drag there is my middle mouse button. So on tiles like that, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, let's do, and I'm not an art artist, so forgive the real easy pixel art here, but we'll just do some light grass. So D got me the drawing tool. I'm going to use Shift scroll wheel up to increase the size here, or decrease, Shift scroll wheel down. We're going to start off with just some grass, so I can just draw, that's fine. I can hold Shift to get a straight line. We've got options for squares, circles, this and that, and again, Shift scroll wheel is how you size up and down. I think I missed one there. Yep, so right to the corner, hold Shift to keep a square, and we'll just go like that. And then we'll fill it with, we'll go a shade darker. And there we go, kind of a weird little grass squiggle, but that's okay. It will serve the purpose. We can rotate tiles with R. We can erase tiles by holding Shift and left clicking. That box just shows what is selected, so if I'm trying to draw something, that will be what draws in there. So I can rotate it around a little. It looks like the number 12 a little bit when it's turned upside down like that. So let's fix this grass up a little bit. Let's make this look a little nicer. We've got these 4 tiles. They're all rotated separately, and we've got just this one selected. So let's tweak this grass a little bit. I want to be able to draw. I can right-click a color to take that color. So let's take the light here, and I'm just gonna. The other thing is that you can't draw outside of your selection lines, so I can pretty haphazardly just scribble that on there, and that's good. So let's grab that shade darker, green, and we'll just draw some little blades in here. Now, you'll notice as I'm drawing these blades of grass that all of the other ones also draw the blades of grass. So every time you edit a tile, it will edit every other tile of that sort that is placed. So that's kind of okay. We can continue to add some grass here. I'm just going to rotate at random to give it a nice sort of lawny appearance. You can kind of tell that's grass from a distance. There we go, 10, 20, 30. So a little 30 by 30 foot little grassy courtyard there. Let's do a little hut. So for a little hut, we'll want it to be about 10 feet wide by 10 feet high, and I'm assuming that similar to a battle map, this will be 5-foot squares. So I can do that, and it will replace the tile, and that'd be fine. I could draw the hut and I could draw the grass behind it, but if we wanted to put this same hut on a stone floor, actually, that's what we should do. Let's get some dirt or rocks. And I'm not going to mess around quite so much. So I hit S for select, and I'm going to double click, and that will select the tile that you click on. I'm going to grab brown, fill, I believe is on F, and just fill that with brown. And then we're going to grab like 2 shades darker, grab the pencil, make it a little bigger, and I'm going to draw some grungy sort of mud around the sides of this. Yeah, and then we'll give it, let's get some no, not like that. Some splotches maybe. Kind of looks like a 5-sided die. Give that a little more. That's kind of a dirt block. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go around and give this a little bit of a border here. And there we go. So if we wanted the hut to show up on a dirt block or a stone block or a grass block, we're gonna want that to be a little different. So what we are going to do is add a layer, and then for layer's sake, we want to be renaming these to keep track of where we're at. So our layer 0, which we put the ground stuff in, I'm going to call that ground. And then layer 1, I'm going to call buildings. You could call it buildings, you could call it effects, you could call it floor 1, layer 1, whatever makes sense to you. I usually end up with more layers than I need, so I am going to change the tile set width settings. So right now this is technically 8 wide, so if I keep making tiles, they're going to run off and I'm going to have to scroll, and I don't want to have to do that. So to change that, those settings are up here. I've got 5 wide. Perfect. So these next 4, I'm going to need 4 to make the hut total. I'm going to put, got the ground layer, I'm on the buildings layer, and so tiles 2, 3, 4, and 5 are going to become this hut. So S for my select tool, I'm going to hold shift to add to my current selection, and then double click to select the entirety of the tile that I'm clicking on. So I have selected all 4 of these, and we're going to start to draw a hut. I'm not going to be too particular about this because I am not a tremendous artist, and my guess is that if you are looking into using this, you probably have some art background, or might be interested in my terrible style of tiles. In fact, I don't know that I am going to do this the way that we've been doing it. I am going to keep doing this, though, to see what happens. I have an idea, and I'll walk you through it when we get there. So we're going to grab that. We're going to make some thatched roof sort of business here. This could be much larger, because this is, we're just doing base cover for now, and then we'll add a little bit of detail in after the fact. So just getting a little bit of like thatched roof onto the hut. That looks pretty alright. And then I'm gonna grab a shade darker, and then make this a little smaller, and then just go from there, giving it a little bit of definition. I am not an artist, so this is pretty basic, pretty rudimentary. Fortunately for me, my party is very forgiving, and we focus more on narrative and storytelling than the art, but it serves the purpose. Let's go ahead and give this just a full covering there. and we'll fill that in as well. And then we need to give it a, I'm just going to use raw black for a doorway here. Oop. No, I'll just draw it. That's all right. Give it a little bit of a figure there, and there we go. Well, let's get a little bit. We'll get a little bit of definition in the hut wall here. We could tile it, make it look like brick. So we could do something like that. We could. I think I'm just gonna do some lines just to give it a little bit of depth. I think my intent was that this was clay or mud. All right, there we go. That's okay. Not terrible. So what we can do here with this is we can leave it as it is, right? The other option that we have to reduce the amount of tiles and other business that we would need, or to create a better regularity, like standard of your work for yourself, I'm going to add 6 and 7 there. I am going to shift control. Nope, that's not what I wanted. How do I? Aha, okay, so it is shift right click. So if I shift right click, I can't get rid of all of that. All right, so we have to deselect these tiles is what we want. All right, so with these 2 tiles selected, we are gonna copy and paste. That didn't quite work. I'm gonna refresh the selection. So we're gonna deselect everything. I'm going to select this tile and this tile. I'm going to copy and paste them. There we go. And then, without moving them, I'm just going to grab the other side and pull it right back over. And pull it to the edge of that one. There we go. Alright, and so now, we have a perfectly symmetrical thing. I can hit enter, and that will key that into those tiles. So now, we've got that nice and symmetric. We still could use the other one. We could go the other way and see if we like the other one better. We can try that out. Let me grab 2 more tiles. So we'll set 3 and 5, and we'll grab 8 and 9. Control D to deselect. S to select. Double click. Shift. Double click. Copy and paste. I'm going to zoom in a little over here because my lines are a little tough to see. Oop, without moving that. Oop. All right. Paste. There we go. You have to move the cursor a little bit to the outside just to grab it. And there, and enter. So this one's, and I mean, now we've got like 2 distinct different styles. So out of drawing that one in that weird way, now I've got 2 huts. It can be helpful to rearrange your tiles such that it makes a little more sense than this. Because of how we've got this, I'm just going to move the grass over like that, and then swap those. And then those swap. There we go. So we've got sort of the fat wide one and a little bit of a thinner tall one. And now that we kind of have that marked out, I'm going to go ahead and select these and give this a little bit more of sort of its own definition. So I'm just going to go through and we're just going to clear out just a little bit of the sides here. And because these are the other tiles, they are not going to copy and paste. Okay. There's probably a way to do mirroring. I don't know it. I'm certainly not an expert, as you are seeing, but that's okay. So with those, I'm just going to copy and paste again, or well, I am going to select 2 and 7, and I'm going to erase these. There we go. All right, deselect, select this one and this one, copy it and paste it. Pull that one right over and enter. There we go. Now we've got the thin hut and a wide hut. Awesome. So now with these, you can create a hut anywhere. I like to just right click to grab tiles. We can erase that one there. Let's move this guy up here. And then, actually, let's put this one here. Okay, cool. So normally I wouldn't do these doors in the middle of the graphic thing. It's a little wonky. I also like to do top-down buildings. So if it were me doing something like that, where I wanted to denote that there was something there, I might do something like this. Yeah, let's go for that darker color around the outside. All right, so that is our border for that. Let's grab fill, and I didn't grab the right color. So we can show this. I meant to grab the darker color here just by right-clicking it. I ended up grabbing the lighter color. I wish that I had done the darker color. So I'm going to grab the dark, switch my colors, grab the light, switch them again. Then I'm going to come back over to my selection, which is what I want to edit. And there's a handy-dandy color replacer. It's on K. You can replace that your secondary color with your primary. So I'm just going to drag over that just with a big pen tool. And there we go. Now I'm going to switch those, go to fill that in, and there's my hut. I like top-down because we play with tokens, so if I was going to represent that there was a character in here, I would set their token right there. Then, just for fun, we're going to add another tile. I'm going to call this, oop, I didn't mean to duplicate. Edit settings. We're going to call this one Decor, short for decoration. And in a room like this, we might have a bed or a campfire. You might have a pennant flag or an emblem or something hanging from the door. Let's do like a medal. That'd be fun. So on decor, this house is gonna have won the first place medal. So let's get them. I'm gonna use this light. We're gonna select the tile to draw in it. We're gonna use this light color. I'm just gonna draw a little sort of loop there. You could have used the oval tool if you wanted it more perfect symmetric. I kind of like the imperfection there. And we are gonna get, let's make like a nice gold. Need it to be a little more orange. There we go. That's like a nice gold. And we'll use the circle this time because this would have been crafted. And how about that? And then we'll just fill that in with our gold. And then in bright red, we are going to draw a pixel number 1. Nice. So that house could have number 1, or we could grab that number 1 and flip it upside down and throw it in that room. So that's that's sort of the quick and dirty of PyxelEdit. I think that was about 22 minutes or so. Very, very quick. Very, very quick. But that's, you can do animations in this. They have an entire suite for animations and frames, so you can do tons of pixel animating. I have not explored any of that. Like I said, I think I haven't said it today, but I use this tool mostly just for making quick and dirty battle maps using tile sets that I've already made, just for my D&D group. So they're not tremendous, but they serve the purpose. I am gonna save this because I do I do kind of like this rock tile and the grass. I know these are super easy and I could recreate them, but if you've already done the work, don't sell yourself short. So I'm just gonna find out a good place to save these to. We'll call this the PyxelEdit demo. All right, and then I need to reference my own map here. So I did the original 2 posts map. Probably can't see it terribly well here. Just on a piece of graph paper. Standard graph papers. I had it written and memorized at one point, and I hate to count boxes on stream, but I'm gonna do it because that's how I've done it here. So it's 44 wide. I really like square maps. It does not need to be that tall at all. But I think we're just gonna do 45 by 45. So normally a square on a map, especially something that I've drafted on graph paper, would be 5 feet. That's not going to work for a town map. So I am looking at this. I'll try to think out loud so it is a little better than me staring at my graph paper map thinking internally. I'm trying to recall what scale I wanted to use for this. I think I was looking at a square being 50 or 100 feet even. I mean, but if you had a 100 by 100 foot, I mean that's gigantic. That's way more than some of these would be. I mean, even 50 and 50 is a little high, but for like 2 floors, maybe. Some of them could be a little more compacted. So we're gonna look at it in about a 50 foot square space. 50 feet a square, because that means, well, no, because when I do drawn maps, a lot of the time it is estimates and not certainties. This is here and it's big enough, you know. So we'll start off like that. We'll do 45 by 45 with the assumption that a square is 50 feet. Now, what I didn't do in the last one, but what I will do for this one, is import a tile set. And I have got a tile set for anytime I do a map for my universe, I re-export and re-import the tile set. So what I do need to do actually is open up. I need to open Goblin Mountain. There's the tile set. Where is Goblin Mountain? Here we go. Because I have new tiles from Goblin Mountain that I don't think I have exported and made a part of the official tile set yet. So here's Goblin Mountain again. I'm going to File, Export a tile set. It's going to ask if you want padding around the pixels and what you want your scale to be, if you want it to be a whole lot bigger or smaller. I want it to all be the same. The file name is Atos Tiles. I'm going to save it. To Atos Maps. Has Atos Tiles. Hold on, sorry. I believe I have another copy of this saved right there. RPG tile set 64, and this one went to Atos Maps. Atos Tiles as a PNG. That's not usually how that gets saved, but that's okay. Huh. RPG tile set. All right, well, that's okay. We've got it as Atos Tiles. So that's what we will use. That is saved. We'll overwrite that. That's fine. We can close Goblin Mountain. We can close PyxelEdit. Actually, we'll leave that open for a minute because I can show something else here. We've got this, so now I want to File, Import Tile Set, and let's get Atos Tiles in here. So this is going to bring up the graphic. It's going to ask what the sets are and if I want to import, merge, only select certain tiles. You can fiddle with all of that as you like. And there we go. I need to reset this back to 5 because that's the width that I am working with. And now I can see all the tiles that I've got in there. Indoor wood planks, barrels. The first thing that I used this for was the Lost Dwarven Brewery, so I do still have the original maps for that. That is a module that will be written up in the future, maybe not the far future, and that will have those in it. So there's some underground, walls for pits, a rock. These could function as ladders, bridges, little fencing, doors, dirt floor insides, scruffy looking moss or mossy rock, hay, the gems lodged in a wall. You got underwater water, a rip. I use the little red tag when I have places on a map that connect but that aren't next to each other, like adjacent in physical tile space. So if there is the kitchen that connects to the basement be up here, the basement would be down here, but they'd both be a red dot. And then I just change the color of the dot if you need different locations that link. These are outdoors with sort of rocky walls around little walkways there. Slippery slopes with mud and water. Oh, excuse me. Some mushrooms, a planted tree, a seal on the ground, trees and grass and then alone, bushes and grass and then alone, tents, campfires, hidden doors, enchanted doors, locked doors, gates. The pink and red floor I used in the Goblin Mountain to denote height, but you could use it for elemental earth, a secret, some torches, a stretched hide, bedrolls, little smithy armor racks. This one's pretty cute. It's hard to see. I'll zoom way in. It's just a little cup, like a little mug, and a little board with a piece of bread or cheese on it, and a little apple or strawberry or something. And then stacks of cash. Who doesn't love piles of gold? Dragon's Hoard. So those are the tiles that we've got. I've actually just made a couple tiles that I kind of liked. This grass and this mud. So what I'm going to do, if you have things like this, and unfortunately I'm not going to keep these ones because as you can kind of see, I do more of the top-down style. So and I've already got a set that is like these. What I am going to take is the grass, and then this grungy mud stone. I mean, I could recolor this gray and it could be stone. I like this as mud. It definitely looks like a good mud. So I'm gonna take the grass, although let me see here. The grass that I use otherwise has dots, because that way it doesn't have to look weird directionally. And this is hops, or a garden plot, but it is supposed to be hops. Or maybe it was vineyards. Maybe it was a vineyard. Yeah, the grass is probably fine. We'll take it anyway. Just to do the proper demo. So I do want to grab the original rotation for it, which I guess is sideways. Is that really how I drew that? No. There we go. That was because that one was the first one. So there we go. That's the original orientation. I must have rotated it at some point. So I'm gonna grab that tile, copy, come over to this one. I do have a bunch of blank tiles at the beginning. Let me grab one of those. Set it down. I need to view tile indices so I know which one I'm working on. I'm gonna select that, paste, enter, and there we go. I'm gonna do the same thing over here for the mud. Come over here, grab one that is of the original orientation, paste it into here, enter, and boom. So we've got grass and mud from our other one imported into the full tile set. We're all done with the demo, so I am okay to close that. We will save, just in case. Always save, can't hurt. The more layers you have, it's going to take a little more time to save, and it'll let you know down here. So if it is being slow or if it pauses, just be patient. I have had it got stuck on either the first or last layer before, especially if I've got either lots of layers or there's a lot on them. I've done really big maps before too, so just be patient with it. It will work. All right, so the town of Two Posts. We need some road. And I guess I'm just going to use some of this flat dirt here. So effectively, Two Posts is going to have a road. It's not quite like that. The road kind of comes down and then over, and then down and slopes, and then goes out. And that comes from this side is a little bit more over at first, and then comes over here, slopes over to cross, swooshes up, maybe not quite so far up, swooshes up and then down. Nice. And then we've got, oh man, my hands are so dry. We've got a square, and this is pretty square, so you can't do squares of tiles. That's okay. I don't know that I've left enough room in here for this, but I guess the square would be up here, over there. There, and then it would have to go there. And that is not a square, that is a rectangle. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to play around with making sure that this does what I would like it to do. This road doesn't quite work like that. And diagonals are notoriously difficult, so I would recommend not using them if you can help it. This kind of juts in there though before it comes up. It doesn't really ever get there. Nah, that's silly. I'll just do that. Alright, coming together a little bit here, getting some roads in. So the original 2 posts, so there's an inn here. Diagonals are really not your friend. So these buildings are going to be shaped very oddly, or I could take this, turn it 45 degrees, and then I've got buildings that are on straight paths. No, we're not going to do that. That's okay. Diagonals and triangles are challenging, but that is the nature of the beast. So I have got these tiles here. You can see that they have borders on sides of them. I have a border on that side and a border on that side because depending on which way the wood grain goes, and it doesn't always line up perfect because it's not. The 70 doesn't break evenly the way that I've done this. I'm sure that somebody with the artistic inclination and time could really make an excellent tile set. Mine is purely functional. So the inn is here. So gotta grab that one, and then the door to the inn would be up on this side. And then so if these are, oh man, all right. So if these are 50 foot blocks, man, all right. This is not how I want to start this. I'm gonna restart here. I'm just gonna clear these tiles out. There's not an easy way to just clear all of it, is there? No, that's all right. We'll just get these deleted real quick. Yeah, that was. I usually can. I usually can start off right from roads or major landmarks, and with the way that the roads are in this one, I'm thinking major landmarks is a better way to start. So, down in the bottom right over here, we can see our tile position. It says position, well, so there's position in tile, there's position size, then you've got tiles. This is 44, 44. These start at 0. It's computer counting. So I've got 45 tiles across. I'm not going to have a halfway, but 22, 23 is sort of where I'm at. It'd be 22 and a half, so 22 or 23 by 22 or 23. So there's 22, 22, and 22, 23. Those are that's sort of our that's our middle block. So the center block is road. Actually, I'm going to make that mud, so I know that that's the center block. The inn is directly above the center block. The two posts as well, for which the town gets its name, and I'm going to avoid doing diagonals as much as I can, actually. If these are 50-foot squares, then that is there. I guess that would be the inn then. That square would start the inn. Okay. All right, so that square is the start of the inn. That's going to be the corner. It also might be there, though. It might be both. The inn's pretty big, so if that's 100 feet, then let's go, 150 this way, or maybe this way. We're going to have to kind of do a little bit of that to get this how we would like it. That's not bad. It's diagonal. It functions. It puts the door down there, so we can denote that that's a door. Now I can't put that on layer 0, so immediately now we're gonna have to start going to layers. So this is our ground. I'm gonna call it ground floor because I plan to use it for both ground and floors. I could do a ground layer and cover everything in dirt, and then do a floor layer and set the buildings on the dirt, and then do the decor layer, or the doors, hinges, chests layer. Torches might end up getting their own layer as well. Oh, excuse me. But we'll see. I like the shape and look of this so far. And 50 feet is pretty great. There are a huge farm. There are massive farms on the north side of the town, and a major ranch that came in as soon as the Bryndon brothers built, and well, it wasn't them initially. The town was founded several hundreds of years ago, though the provost of the town is a human. His name is RedHoodieGames, and he's the town provost. He's sort of, they don't really have a mayor. He's sort of the guy that people like look up to, and who helps to manage the guards and to manage things. But it's not like an elected position in the way that we might know it. But that's more town politics. So ground floor, let's get that dirt back. Layer 1, this I'm going to call doors for now. It's going to be more than just doors. It's probably going to be doors, chests, beds. I might end up calling it furnishings. I usually put furnishings below decor. It depends. I don't have any rugs, so we'll see. But there's the door. There's the inn. You go in. There's like a downstairs thing. There's stairs up here that lead through to the hallways. It would be squared on the sides, but it's not. It's okay. Next to the inn, attached, are some pretty big stables. 100 by 100 seems large, but that would be pretty good for a town of this size. Probably not even big enough. On this map, it looks about the same size as the inn, which is about 150 feet side to side. So those stables might be stretched as well. So I'm going to go back to the ground floor here really quick and just get in a little bit more of this path. Because if we start the stables up there, we can keep this path going up at this nice diagonal climb. The original post, so now, and you can just drag these to move them around. Now we're going to give decor a layer, and I'm going to grab that red dot that I've got and so the original post, like the two posts post is just across the street from the inn, just like that. So that just decor, ground floor, probably right like that. There's a little bit of grass and green space below and around, because people still use the hitching post. So, but it's pretty worn grass. So let's use this worn, crummy grass around there. Nice. And then the general store is up over here. So we can grab another wooden building. And just like with this one, we're going to go ahead and use that just like that. And I'll have to give it a door here. The general store opens to the north street, so we'll get the tile for sideways boards like that. Switch to the doors floor and give it a door. I don't know for sure if these doors swing out or in yet. I'm not thinking about or worrying about that for now. We're just doing the map. After the ground floor gets done. Oh my god. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Gosh. After the ground floor gets done, then sorry, had a brain fart. Then I can start to think about, more of the design, more of the decor. So there's a restaurant also across the street, so I may denote that with a table. I've got these beds, so I might put in a bed here to denote that this is an inn. Eventually, it might be cool to take this map and blow it way up. So if each of these are 50 feet, that is 10 tiles. So we go from a 45 by 45 map to a 450 by 450 map. And it is just, all of these maintain their borders around the same squares that they would be in, but they would be completely fleshed out. So maybe. There's not enough that goes on in two posts to merit that. I think that something like this would be okay, and then you could theater of the mind being inside the general store or the inn or the restaurant. I can get that restaurant built too. But it'd be cool, perhaps in the future. Alright, so these ones break off in their two directions. And then the other post would be right about there. I might put it there because it's pretty next to the road. So let's grab these again and go back to decor. We'll snag that and we'll go like that. And then we'll come back to ground floor. So that's this way goes off this way, this way goes off this way. And then we've got one more up here that goes off in the direction off of the end there. Does that? It does kind of come around. We'll go. All right, so if we go like this, and go 1, 2, 1, 2, street 3. All right, and then the city provost building is up here, and then this was 1, 2. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. No, it was 1, 2, street 3. 1 and then over. Okay. All right, there we go. 1, 2, street 2, gap, and then that one we can give some of this dusty green. Actually, this would be nice green, so we can give that some alive green there. And then these we should have a. Aha, there we go. A single 50. So these are our smaller homes on the street there. This is a street that comes down. Town guard have some spots there. There was 2, and then there would be a street there that goes out as well. Because then these buildings are like 1, 2, 3 like that as the street comes around. 1, 2, 3 like that. There's one there and there. And then there and there and there. Alright, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 again. Ah, yep, this is a sneaky courtyard these guys have. They have this sort of shared space. We'll chuck these roads back in over here. This is the one that goes from the ranch. So this is the side of the square that I had originally built. So if you have hung out or you are following through and I drew the big X, this was the center of that X. And then this would have been the side of the square that I was wanting to draw. And then, interestingly enough, that square isn't really a full square, because this path here, oh, maybe I'll go up over instead. Well, because there's these 2, there really should only be a gap of 2 in here. So what if you guys were 2, and what if we moved you all over a hair? The city guard provost building is kind of like the inn, except it's the other way. But between these 4 and these 4, I think I'd like to set up the same sort of thing. So let's go like that, and that, and then like that, and that, like that, and that, and this, and that, and that, and that, and that, and then some of that. SpongeBob. That one. Alright, hold on. There's 2 4s that over. Oh, alright, so these are all a hair too far over. Okay, there we go. That works. That works. There we go. And then the entrance to that one is up here too. Like that. And then we go back to doors. I'm gonna grab this one and slap it on there. Again, I'll worry about the direction that the doors are going another time. So That's kind of our hour. I have a lot of other things that I'd like to do today. I still need to upload the um, last week's uh, stream to YouTube, um, and a bunch of other stuff that I want to do today. But otherwise, this has been a little intro to PixelEdit. This is my Town of Two Posts map as it is coming along. We are using a 50 feet per square scale here, so each of these is a home. This is large roads. I may end up drawing some stuff in there later on, we'll see. But I keep my stuff very simple and functional, and it serves the purpose. So let me go ahead and save this. Oh man. Excuse me. I am so tired today. And I've got to run a session later, so hopefully we'll be all set for that. But later on, the party will be back in Goblin Mountain, and I've got all of that done and prepped and ready, so that should be excellent. So Two Posts is saved. I am going to export my tile set one more time. So I would really like for this to be, so the Atos tiles we definitely want to save and overwrite, and that's okay. All right, so cool. Yeah, if you have popped in, thanks a whole bunch, and stay tuned. You can check out RedHoodieGames.com for a daily blog post, which will let you know what I'm up to, what I'm doing. And we'll probably be back next week. So take care, roll high, and don't stop having fun.